Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, and friends. Hope you're well, hope you're good. Hello, namaste, sat sri akal, everybody who's tuning in today. It's been a long time, it's been a while. It's midweek, and it's your brother Naseem Khan here in the Limelight with another guest, Riaz Khan, who many know and who many don't. A lot's been happening: Islamophobic attacks, Palestine, Israel, everything's been going on, and also recently the attack in Birmingham on the Asian couple, and also the tragic news of the family who got run over in Canada by young terrorists, Islamophobic, a racist attack, and the only survivor is a 9-year-old boy. Please pray for him. He's in hospital, and he's got a big operation today. So without further ado, let me call my brother Riaz. Assalamu alaikum, Riaz bhai. Hope you're well, hope you're good. Thank you for joining me on UCTV.
Excellent, well done.
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a busy week and a lot's been going on, hasn't it?
So you're breaking up, say again?
I said it's been a busy week and a lot's been going on.
Yeah, very, very busy. Marking essays, marking assignments, presentations, and obviously in the world as well, lots of things are going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to kick off with the show, yeah, because a lot of people, as soon as I've done the flyers and the posters and what have you, a lot of people have said to me that, are you guys related? Is he your brother? Is he your cousin?
I think I'm better looking than you, don't you?
Yeah. So what I did say was, I said, listen guys, I go, we're both Pathans and I've no idea, but Allah knows best and we do look similar.
Yeah. I'll let you get with because we've got bald heads and beards, I suppose, do look very similar, yes.
That's it. So, without further ado, let's take it back, yeah, Riaz bhai. Let's take it back. How it all started for you? How was that era for you? Where you ended up and where you are now?
Well, at school, it was a school full of white kids. There was only like a handful of Asians there, like 2 or 3 Asians and a couple of blacks. So
yeah.
At school was about a constant battle
with
who we were and our culture and stuff, and clashing with the English culture or the British culture. So I was always in turmoil because at school I had to become predominantly, I had to become white to adapt to be accepted. And at home I had to be a good Pakistani boy.
Yeah.
To listen to mum and dad and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was torn between cultures because if I went to school predominantly sort of mixed between Asian, whites and blacks, I think I'd have been more in tune with my own heritage and in tune with my own culture. But because I went to school for the white kids, I wasn't accepted. So it was really, really difficult to be not accepted by, I don't know, the indigenous population. If you don't accept you try your best to be accepted.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult in those times to live in an environment where there's lots of racism, and racism was a major thing that was going on in the UK at the time. There groups like National Front and the British National Party, and there's lots of packy bashing, and to be a different colour to get beaten up.
Absolutely.
It wasn't different at school as well, because the teachers really didn't care about you. If they thought you were stupid, they would just leave you alone. They wouldn't even bother with you. And if the kids, they knew you was different colour, then they'd tease you for being black or brown or whatever. So it's really, really difficult. And at school, I just find it difficult to fit in. And in our own communities, what it's like doing in our own communities. If you're not doing well at school and education, they sort of look at you and think you're stupid.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't at school where my education sort of wasn't, the teachers didn't really try hard enough.
Yeah.
If they think you're a bit, if you're underperforming or whatever, I was deemed as thick and stupid, so the teacher left me alone.
Right.
So going back to your own community, Pakistani community, or it was an Asian community then, because it was a mixture of Pakistani and Pathan and whatever. There weren't many Pathans, but most Punjabis and Kashmiris.
Yeah.
So how many other levels are you doing now, and what are you going to do when you grow up? You're going to be a doctor or engineer or whatever. And I didn't know what I was going to do. My parents wanted me to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So leaving school, I didn't even hardly any qualifications because I just could not get my head around studying because there was so much pressure put on Asians in those days to do well at school.
Absolutely.
Because my school teacher didn't really pay much attention to me. I didn't do very well at school, so I went to college. My dad was disappointed. He wanted me to be a doctor. He just said, "Why are you going to go to college? You're going to do anything and get top marks." So I went to college, and because I never belonged to any sort of group or any gang or something,
yeah,
in college there was different gangs. and I wanted to be a part of something because in those days Asian gangs were black gangs stuck together because of the racism, and I think because of the film The Warriors,
Yeah.
that sort of sparked its gang culture in the UK, especially amongst Asians and blacks.
Yeah.
Because in the film Warriors, you notice there's gangs of people from different races in each gang. If you go, so you got the Hispanics and blacks and whites in one gang, and you got blacks and whites in another gang, etc., etc. So seeing a multicultural gang like that, and the way they fought and stuck together and fought against other gangs, is what sort of sparked off this gang culture in Britain, I reckon, amongst Asians and blacks, to be honest with you.
You're right, absolutely, because up north where I am, around Blackburn, back in the days when we were growing up, there was a firm sort of called known as the Warriors as well.
The Warriors.
Yeah, up north as well.
Yeah, so I think because of the film, I think that sparked up a lot of things like in Birmingham and Bradford and places like that. Gangs is sort of sprung up because of this film. We know what we like when we're kids. We watch something, whoa, look at this, and let's become of a gang. Let's do this. You sort of follow this sort of
Trend.
I don't know what you call it. It's like a trend.
Trend, yeah.
You follow it, don't you? So I joined the gang, and just for protection, and it was fun. Even though I didn't study because it was all new to me. Belonged to a group of guys who didn't care what colour you were.
Yeah.
But even then, the gang which I belonged to was you're Sunni, you're Muslim, and because most of the gangs were Sikh or Sikh. Most Sikh lads I hung around with, so they used to, or Hindu lads, one or two Hindu lads, and they'll take Tahij because you're Pakistani.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of partition.
Yeah,
But I didn't understand all that because being went to a white school, I didn't understand all this Asian heritage stuff.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't fit in, so at school I didn't fit in, these Asian gangs didn't fit in. And then one day I saw this group of lads walking past me, and there was like a black lad at the front, and he was followed by 10 white lads, and they all dressed really well. And I thought to myself, wow, look at these guys, they look so cool. They look very regimental in the way they walked and the way they sort of held themselves. And I said, I want to be like these guys, I want to belong to something like this, because the clothing and the way they look cool. The haircuts, the trainers, the tracksuits and the jumpers and whatever.
Yeah.
So I started dressing like them, not realising that dress code belonged to another culture, which was the casual culture.
Yeah.
So I started dressing like this, and I was hanging around a shopping mall called the Haymarket in Leicester. It's like a little small shopping mall where all the Asian lads used to hang out, or the black lads used to hang out.
Yeah.
And one day I was there, started dressing like these guys, started wearing this casual clothing like Puma trainers, bleached jeans, and these cagoles and stuff. Had my hair in a certain way. This mixed race lad called to me, he was half Indian, half white, and he goes, I've never seen you before. And he looked at me up and down, I said, I've never seen you before. He goes, he was dressed smart, he was dressed like casual, and he goes, I've never seen you on a football. He goes, what do you mean I don't go football matches? What do I go football matches for? He goes, the way you're dressed belongs to this culture. So you don't remember the subculture in those days. You had each subculture had different code of dressing. So you had the punks that looked one way, then you had the skinheads that looked a certain way, Then you had the teddy boys, but they went out of fashion then. But then you had the like Grebos, the heavy rockers.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like different dress codes between cultures. I didn't realise the way I dressed was belonged to the football culture, the casual culture.
Wow.
So if you dress like that, you have to come football because you can't dress like that. People call you plastic. So that weekend, so we've got a big game coming up. It's against Birmingham, the Zulu Warriors.
Right.
And everybody from Leicester's going to go to this game, so you've got to come to this game. So I said, all right, I'll come to this game. Not knowing what I was getting myself into. So Saturday morning, I got ready, went to the train station by 10:30. I saw an array of people on the train station. There was black, white, and Asian. There was Asian lads. There was one Pakistani lad who was a few years older than me.
Wow.
He was like one of the main players. And two Sikh brothers who were main players as well. And the Asians, they were the three that were the main players. But the Pakistani lad had been doing it since 1972. That's how young he was when he started. He's a few years older than me.
Right.
He must be 60 now.
Wow.
Or touching 60 anyway. And he was there. I recognised him from Madrasa when he was kids. And we knew him anyway, we knew his family. I was like, I felt a bit at ease when I saw him because he was older.
Yeah.
And I thought, then I saw the way everybody dressed and the way everybody was talking, getting on. I thought, this is where I belong.
This is it.
Because no one looked at it because of the colour of his skin or, the way. Because don't forget, my parents worked hard. They worked in, industry, factories and stuff. And half the money was sent back to Pakistan to look after their own families.
Yeah, I can understand that, yeah.
After their own parents and their brother's family, etc., etc. My mum did the same, looking after her brothers and stuff. So little spent on little luxuries in my house, like clothing and stuff like that. I mean, they pay the mortgage, they'll pay to buy televisions and video recorders and stuff, but that was very essential for both. But when it comes to clothes, they give you an outfit, expect you to wear that 2 outfits in the whole year.
Yeah, but did they not say to you when you were getting all these clothes? Did they not say to you that Putter, where did this come from?
No, it didn't, because we were signing on. They didn't think the clothes were expensive because these look like clothes.
Yeah.
Because we were signing on, getting dole money. I'm working at menial jobs as well.
Yeah.
They didn't think where he gets money from. So anyway, so I got to Birmingham, and it kicked off straight away. As soon as I come out of the train station, it kicked off straight away, and I got arrested. First time being arrested in my life.
Wow.
I got arrested before even going to the football game. So the only thing I could think of, my dad's going to kill me. Because one thing my dad said, do not get in trouble with the police. He was adamant, do not get in trouble with the police.
I can relate
Never get arrested, don't bring shame on the family, etc., etc.,
I can relate to that as a Pathan. I can relate to that.
Yeah, because he didn't want the shame to be brought upon the family and stuff.
Yeah.
I got arrested and I thought, oh no, my dad's going to kill me. I'm going to keep it secret. I didn't know how to keep it secret. And eventually I got let out, and I got home by 10:30 at night. In those days, I was supposed to be in the house by 8ish.
Wow.
I was 17 years old, in 1983, and you think, oh God, we weren't really, because of racism, so my dad didn't like me going out late, or any of us going out late.
Yeah.
So it set a bad example for the other kids, because I was the oldest.
Yeah.
So I should have been home by 8ish, really, not too late.
Yeah.
I got in at 10:30, Dad said, where have you been? And I just told him I got arrested. He goes, what for? I couldn't believe it. So I got arrested for fighting. He goes, oh, okay. He was okay with that, because as Pathans, fighting is part of our heritage, part of our culture, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So he was alright with it, and I thought, oh, okay, this looks good. I mean, I can probably get away with this now. I can probably keep going. From that moment on, I started going to this football match with my brother, who's a year younger than me. So we both started going to this football match, and we had our own little gang called the YTS, which meant a young, trendy squad, which was a part of the baby squad.
Right.
And the thing about the baby squad, it was multicultural. I think we were the only real firm that was multicultural in terms of we had whites, blacks, and Asians.
Yeah.
I mean, Birmingham had lots of blacks and lots of whites, but I didn't see any Asians in there.
Yeah.
Pound, there was 1 or 2, but less than like 20 Asians.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So for the next 6 years or so, we were running up and down the country causing havoc. And eventually, you kind of grow up, don't you? You get older and older, and I thought to myself, I ain't getting anywhere in my life doing this. And the violence got too much as again. I was in my 20s and still doing it. I thought, I can't do this any longer. What will I do this for?
Yeah.
Another subculture came along. It was like the house scene, the rave scene and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was new, 1989. It came to Leicester, and it was very, very new. We was the first ones to do it in Leicester, because some lads went over to Magaluf or whatever it was in Spain, and they came back. There were lads from Blabies, like an area in Leicester. They came back and they started doing this, and we sort of joined them and started doing. Instead of going to football match, we went to garage house parties and stuff, raves and stuff, illegal events.
Yeah.
And with the football violence, it was all a natural adrenaline rush. It was like a natural buzz.
Yeah.
You got off on fighting other firms that would like you, because it wasn't mindless. It wasn't mindless violence. It was organised violence, but you fought those who wanted to fight you.
Yeah.
And you got a natural adrenaline rush from that. Now with acid house, it was artificial.
Yeah.
So you took the drugs to get high, and to the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you took the drugs to be in tune with the music, and instead of fighting, we'd be dancing all night with people from Coventry, which we had rivalry with, or Nottingham or Derby. People we had rivalry with in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it's just like, forgot the rivalries, all the rivalries dropped. So basically, I always tell people that the football scene broke down a lot of racial barriers.
Yeah.
None of these politicians, none of these religious leaders, none of these film stars or singers or pop stars or whatever. It was the football scene, then the house scene as well, the rave scene.
Yeah.
These two factors, these two subcultures broke down many, many racial barriers.
Absolutely, you're right.
You know what I mean? So I did the football violence for about 6 years, and I did the house scene for about a couple of years, but then it got a bit too much. The drugs took a toll on your brain. It started making me paranoid.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. I got so paranoid, I didn't want to be around people anymore. So I locked myself away.
Right.
In my bedroom and stuff. I didn't want to meet people, I didn't want to speak to people, because people kept looking at me funny and stuff, because that's how paranoid I got from the acid tabs.
Right.
And for about 18 months I was in this dark place. maybe a couple of years. About 18 months I was in a dark place, really dark place.
Yeah.
I was going nowhere. I had no money. I wasn't working. I wasn't, dressing well. My dress sense had gone downhill because I was well dressed. That period of time, I was known for my dressing up. Not like a ponce, nothing like that, but just looking cool. You know what I mean, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm blowing my own trumpet now, but
looking smart.
I look smart.
Looking smart. Yeah. Looking smart.
Not like what you see smart as in wearing suits, but like smart as in
trendy smart.
Street sort of wear, like casual wear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, trendy smart.
And trainers and stuff. Sorry?
Trendy smart.
Yeah. Sort of stuff like that, yeah. And basically, my dress sense had gone down and my hair was all over the place. And I didn't even look after myself. All I wanted to do was stay in my bedroom, listen to hip-hop, gangster rap and smoke weed. That's where my life was going. Just wake up, or where am I going to get my drugs from? Get the score draw, come back home, listen to hip-hop, smoke, get paranoid from smoking. And for about 18 months I was doing this, and all my friends left me because they couldn't deal with me, because I was just, every time I went out, I was like, are they laughing at me? What they're looking at? Sort of thing like that, getting paranoid.
Yeah.
Even my mates, I got paranoid with them, so I was sort of kept myself to myself, became an introvert. I was an extrovert for so many years and became an introvert.
Wow.
Then one day some guy, Tabliki, knocked on my door, and I used to avoid them because they were like Jehovah's Witnesses, but the Muslim version.
Yeah.
And one day someone let him in, my mate, and he started giving me dawah. He started preaching to me, and I was like, and what he said made sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's for, okay, you're making sense here. Right, okay, I get it. Because I was at a low point in my life. It must have been the lowest point in my life ever.
Yeah.
Lowest point in my life ever. Shaitan had got me by the balls, basically. You know what I mean? So, he gave me dawah and said, look, when you ask Allah to help you because you're in such a dark place, that's, yeah, whatever. And then as soon as he left, I picked up an old Quran from years ago from Camden Market. I used to work on the streets there selling bits and bobs.
Yeah.
And I picked it up, within 2 days I finished it.
MashaAllah.
It was an English version. And I read it back to back, and within 2 days the whole book. I couldn't put it down. Because all the answers were there. Everything I needed in my life, everything that I was looking for, whether it's through football vibes, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through listening to music, whatever, all the answers were there.
Wow.
And just like overnight, boom, I changed. It was just a complete 180-degree turn. Boom,
right, on that point, Riaz bhai, we're going to take a quick 1 minute break.
Yep.
Hold your change, and then we'll come straight back, yeah?
Okay.
Right, guys, we're just going to take a quick break, and we'll see you in the next 2 minutes.
So your signal's really poor, bro.
Yeah, guys, that was our quick break there, and with brother Riaz Khan. He's giving us his story, past, present to future, very emotional, how he changed, and is good information there, especially for the youth out there. Assalamu alaikum, Riaz bhai, welcome back.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, as I was saying, that changed my life overnight. Boom.
Yeah.
I started praying. I started going to the masjid. I just saw things differently, I had so much hate in me, so much. The shaitan really got to me, I had so much hate for people. When Islam took away the hate, I just realised that people are people, and realised that, as Muslims we have to be better people. We have to be, obviously listen to what Allah says to us, and become better people. Show people that Islam is basically the true way. And that's just changed my ways completely. I mean, when my old mates saw me, they were like, "What happened to you?" And I'd be like, hold on a minute, what's going on here? They couldn't believe it because I was engaging with them and I was talking to them and I was completely different. I wasn't that paranoid and I wasn't, running away from them or, swearing and using bad language. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So from that, because Islam had taught me, gave me the foundations, I went to university.
Wow.
I studied. I got myself a degree. Then I got myself a master's.
Subhanallah.
I got married. Children. It just changed my whole life completely.
And that happened later in your life, meaning like you were maturing then and it happened then. So it's never too late, is it? It's never too late.
Never too late. When I first embraced Islam, I was like 27. I can't say I was ever Muslim because I never prayed. I never did zakat. I didn't fast. I didn't do all these things. I didn't even go Jummah, to be honest with you. I never did anything Islamic.
Yeah.
Until when I was a kid, I did, obviously, because of my parents, my dad and stuff. But when I became a teenager, I didn't do anything Islamic. So for me, I was not a Muslim.
Allah.
You know what I mean? Because, to be a Muslim, you have to do certain things, certain actions to be a Muslim. I didn't even believe in God. I didn't even believe in anything. You know what I mean? That was a dark period in my life. Those 10 odd years or whatever, 12 odd years or whatever. No, sorry, 10. Yeah, like 10 odd years I was, when I was doing this subculture and going through that dark period, I didn't believe in anything. And Allah brought me back. SubhanAllah. If I died upon those years, I don't know where I'd be. I wouldn't be in a good place.
Allah.
Because Allah brought me back. I realised this was the truth. This is this is what we're supposed to do on this earth. By doing good things and being good to people and, spreading the true message of Islam.
Absolutely.
So I went back to university, got myself a degree, got myself a master's, got married, I've got 4 kids now.
SubhanAllah.
Got myself a half-decent job, became a teacher.
Wow.
And then I started doing good things. People started noticing I was doing certain things, especially on social media. I was speaking out against, guys who represented our religion that weren't really representing our religion. For example, these idiots like ISIS and these idiots that go around shouting, behead those who insult Islam and really being a bad name for Muslims. You get me? This tiny minority.
Yeah.
So as a person, I saw this and I saw the rise of the far right. I thought this is not good because of these idiots, these handful of idiots, they're giving the rest of us a bad name.
Absolutely, 100%.
I start speaking out on social media about these certain individuals, and now we're trying to reach out to non-Muslims, say, look, we're not like these guys. Okay, they might have Muslims, they're very naughty, but we're not the majority, because the vast majority is not nothing like these guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And some listen and some didn't, of course, but as long as some people listen and say, okay, yeah, we get it, these guys are bad guys, you guys are the good guys, sort of thing. That they don't represent Islam, that's all that mattered.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, 100%, Riaz Bhai, and you've got a very good example there. From the age of 27, you changed your life around, alhamdulillah, and look at you now. And that's what I came about. We kept in touch. I saw your, videos and stuff, and I thought, this is the time. And alhamdulillah, how did it come about? You got a theatre. Was a book written or a theatre play was written in regards to you?
Both, actually. The book was written because, like I said, I saw these guys burning the Union Jack and burning this and that and swearing in the streets and saying, swearing at the royal family or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm not down with the royal family, don't get me wrong, I don't have much love for them, but the point is, you don't swear at them, you don't abuse them, because that just makes other people angry who are loyal to the royal family.
Absolutely.
So I saw the rise of Anjan Chowdhury and his lot, and I saw the rise of the far right terrorists, and I thought, hold on a minute, I'm Muslim and I used to be a football hooligan.
Yeah.
So I thought, how can I bridge the gap between these two groups and show, look, and try to reach out to both of them, if you get what I mean. So I wrote this book about my past experiences in depth. I just gave you an overview, but it was in depth this time.
Yeah.
I read the book. It took me 6 months to write it, but it took about 2 or 3 years to release it because the publisher had some problems with his own book company. But eventually it got released. I got a lot of inboxes from white guys that said it's a brilliant book. We didn't know the culture was like this, and we didn't understand. Now we understand. Could your culture better now?
Yeah.
See, if I can convert one person or change one person's mind,
absolutely.
From being, to hate people like us, I've done my job.
Absolutely, you have. Yeah, fantastic job you've done. You've got
if I can convert one person, not convert, sorry, it's not the right word, but change a person's mind towards Muslims.
Yeah, and that's through awareness.
That's enough for me.
That's through awareness that you did, and and through your experience.
And that's what the book was about. It wasn't about. You can't make money in books. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about getting glory. It wasn't nothing like that. I wanted to get a message out there to say, look, Muslims live in this society. We're part of this society. we're not the outsides. We want to be part of something. We want the same things in life. We want a good job. We want a nice house. We want a nice car. We want good kids to go to education. We want all these same things that you guys want.
Absolutely.
There are differences with Muslims and you're not.
Exactly.
That shouldn't divide us because we believe in something else.
And look what's
we should come together on commonality.
Yeah, look what's happening now, Riaz, with the current situation, touching upon that in the recent situation with Palestine, how Israel, the occupier, is, bombarding innocent lives and stuff like that, and through Gaza.
Yeah.
It's really bad what's been going on there, but I think personally this time we have raised awareness, we've raised our voice, but we need to keep doing it, not go quiet. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, in the Jewish scripture, the Ten Commandments, two of them say, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. Yet these evil people, they are killing and they're stealing land. They're going against their own commandments. So the real Jews are saying, well, these guys are not real proper Jews. I mean, a lot of Jewish people are speaking out against what's happening over there. It's been going on since 1948.
Absolutely.
And hopefully now, because of social media and because, in the old days, people say, well, it's the Palestinians' fault. People actually wake up and see, hold on a minute. No, it's not. They're oppressed, and these guys have got nuclear weapons. They've got the best technology, the best tech.
Absolutely.
And they're smashing these people who've got hardly anything. So people actually wake up to see the atrocities that these Israelis are doing to the Palestinian people. And it's going to keep going unless we keep, pushing the momentum. Don't think it's all over, because it will never be over. It's been going for over 70 years. We've got to carry on with this momentum. We've got to keep making people aware that this is not going to stop until the Israelis stop. And the only way you can get to them is make them feel guilty for what they're doing.
Yeah,
You can try to stop buying their products. You can ask the governments to do embargo on them and sanctions on them, but they'll still keep doing what they're doing. So the only way we can do is making them feel guilty, because what happened to them in World War II, they're doing exactly the same what they're doing to the Palestinians right now.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. That's why a lot of Jewish people that survived the camps, they said the same thing, that what they have done, what the Israelis are doing now, is what the Nazis did to us.
Absolutely.
It's bizarre why they, I don't know, you think they'd learn from the lesson what happened in World War II. You'd think they would, realise, okay, that was what the Nazis did was terrible what they did to us. But they're doing a similar thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're doing genocide of the people.
Absolutely. And look, the recent, obviously you spoke about how it was back in the days and, racism, Islamophobia. Don't you think it's come back again in the 21st century with all the situations going on? The recent one was with the Birmingham one, where that young Christian lad attacked the Muslim family, and then the one where the young lad in Canada, the terrorist racial attack where he ran over that family, wiped the whole lineage out, and only one young survivor, the young boy.
Yes, Allah have mercy on them both. The thing is, on him, sorry. The thing is, racism has become dynamic now. So instead of picking on people's colour, they seem to pick on religion and get away, because most of the Muslims in this country are black or brown.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's easy to cover your racism by pointing at Muslims, saying, we don't like these lots, nothing to do, we're not racist, but we don't like them lot. It's just blatant racism. They pretend it's not racism, but it is. If Muslims are white,
yeah,
they won't say anything.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. Like, look, no media coverage of that family, man. How's that young boy going to feel? He's got an operation today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy and give him a recovery. Yeah? He's 9 years old. How's he going to feel when he wakes up and knows his khandan's gone?
I hope he didn't have hate in his heart, because obviously he's going to be bitter.
Allah.
I mean, if it was me, I'd have so much hate in my heart. The person who killed my family.
No coverage, no coverage, nothing.
Being an orphan, and knowing that some hateful person killed his family because of his religion, because of they look different.
And they've arrested the guy, and most likely, like you said, what they're going to say is, oh, he wasn't mentally right. They need to make an example. They need to make an example of that individual so that other people know that this is not right.
Well, they made an example of the guy in New Zealand, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully they make an example of this guy as well. Yeah. And the president has called it, he's called it outright, it's a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
The media have not called it a terrorist attack, but the president has.
Yeah.
The media will never call it. Anyone who attacks Muslims or kills Muslims is never a terrorist attack. Absolutely. If it was the way around, it's a terrorist attack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the media needs to be held accountable for their... It's because of the media as well. If they did positive stories about Muslims, there'd be less hatred out there.
Absolutely.
Because it's always negativity from the media. They make us look at a bad light, because you get a tiny minority do silly things, they'll think all of us are the same.
Absolutely.
And that breeds hatred.
They're painting you with the same brush, but we just got to keep trying, man. At the end of the day, we just got to keep trying.
Well, what else can we do?
Exactly. What can we do, man? What can we do?
You know what I mean? We have to try. That's why we're on this earth for, to try.
Absolutely.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, Riaz bhai, what does the future hold for you, my brother? What is the future? Have you got anything coming out? Anything happening? Or
Well, the play, I done a play from the actual book, which won an award.
Yeah.
I just wait. I've got something in the pipeline, a couple of things in the pipeline. We're not going to say anything now because there's an ain't. So I'm going to keep it quiet. I'm going to keep it under my belly, under my belt for now, and let's see how it goes. And hopefully, it'll be.
Well, whenever it does happen, Riaz bhai, you know where to come first, yeah.
Yeah. Inshallah.
Any message for the youth you want to give out there before you go?
Yeah, if it's to the youth, look, whatever you're doing, it's short term. Think about long term. So if I was you guys, you don't be looking over your shoulder every 5 minutes, whatever you do. If you're doing something naughty, leave it, because there's no benefit in it. That money is easy come, easy go. That lifestyle is just horrible. There's no peace in that lifestyle. Return back to your deen. I'm telling you now, because when I was doing those things for that period of time, there was no peace in it. Not really. You think it's all great, but deep down it's not. Your soul, you're battling with your soul. To return to your deen, because we're on this life for like 60, 70 years, and that's it.
Absolutely.
The hereafter is forever.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Riaz bhai, for your time. Really
No
appreciate
problem,
it. And inshallah, we'll catch
Thanks
you
for
again
having
soon.
me.
No, absolutely, man. Anytime, bro. Take it easy, yeah?
Right.
Thank you so much.
You too, bro.
Allah Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wow. Very, very emotional, very, very in-depth interview there with Brother Riaz by Riaz Khan, telling his life story again, how he changed his life, how he was in the dark corner, of his life, in his bedroom, wouldn't want to come out, wouldn't want to liaise with anybody because of all the stuff that he did, what he went through. And then subhanallah, alhamdulillah, how everything changed around at that time for him, subhanallah. By reading the Quran in English, and everything just fell into place with his education, his life, and his family. Thank you everybody for joining in, inshallah. Catch you again on the next one. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.